Hi, this is Russ Tanner from Global Skywatch. This is the Monday night Global Skywatch phone and live online streaming meeting. We have these meetings every Monday night at 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. You can find information about the meetings that we're having at globalskywatch.com/live, L-I-V-E, and you can join us online. When you go to that website, anybody in the world can watch the live stream. There's a flash player right up above the chat room. You can chat with us live, and I monitor that chat throughout this meeting. Or you can watch the meeting and watch my screen, or sometimes a webcam, or whatever source of video that we want to put on at any given time. And you can also call in and join us by phone. The phone number, in case you hear this and you for some reason don't actually see the phone number, is 559-726-1300. That's 559-726-1300, and you'll be asked to put in a participant access code, which is 156230. That's 156230. This week I want to go, this meeting will be short. I want to go over some very important things, and the first thing that I want to cover is next week I want to have and invite your friend, invite your skeptic, invite anyone who doubts Chemtrail Day. I want to have leaders in the Chemtrail movement on together from different countries. If you are a member of other Chemtrail geoengineering support groups, whether they be on Facebook, online, there's hundreds of websites and blogs. If people want to speak, I want to give everybody an allotted time to speak, to tell us what's going on in their country, what successes that they've had, how they've been successful, to share ideas about this, and also tell us how chemtrails and geoengineering are affecting them, their families, their friends, and their country. So if you know someone who you think would be well suited for this, then please by all means, have them join the meeting. They don't have to contact me ahead of time. We will just have a Q&A queue type of situation where they can hit *6 on their phone, and they will have some time to speak. But if they want to contact me and they want some extra time, or they want to have something they want to share by video, we can arrange that as well, so people can watch it on the stream at globalskywatch.com/live. So, this is next week. This is going to be March 4th at 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific. So please remember, March 4th, this is next week. I would like to have people from different countries coming on, giving their testimonies about what they've experienced and what they've been doing in their countries, and invite your friends and skeptics so they can see that this is not some kind of a social gathering, but rather that geoengineering is a very real thing, and I can tell you firsthand that it hurts. People are in pain. People are suffering. I have a lot of people who contact me and getting sick. Their children are sick, and there are patterns to the spraying that match up with how busy the pediatrician's offices are, and so on and so forth. So please, next week, let's make this happen, and let's make it something big, and invite your skeptic friends and family to join us. We can also I'd also like to invite those who speak to talk about the evidence testing results that they've had. So I want it to be a big night, lots of people from wide areas all working together. This is all about people working together to solve what, in my opinion, is the biggest problem we've ever faced, ever. Let me go through the agenda. If you're watching the live stream at globalskywatch.com/live, you can click the little icon of the speaker, or in the left sidebar, click the live stream Watch Now button. And you can watch my screen and follow along with the agenda if you like. This will be short. This won't be a long meeting, and we can all chat afterwards. It is going to be recorded and posted probably within 24 hours. I usually have the the audio up within 24 hours after the meetings. Okay, so we're right here looking at the purposes of this conference are to bring people together and coordinate. I know we've had a lot of guests. We've had Dane Wigington on here, Francis Mengels, we've had Clifford Carnicom, and had some great information. But I also want to keep the organic roots of this meeting alive as well, meaning that is us, that we have guests on here to help us to get the information we need and to help people in general and get information out. But we also use this meeting to coordinate and to work together to help solve this problem, because it's up to us. It's up to each one of us. And I truly believe that this problem, if everybody who's a member of a geoengineering chemtrail group on Facebook would actually be spending 5 to 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week doing something, I don't think chemtrails would be sprayed at the end of 12 months. I think it would be over because of the impact that we would have. Unfortunately, and this is the way it usually is, there's 1% of people who are actively involved. My hat's off to you who are on this meeting, or if you can't make the meeting and you've got a sign in your yard, or you're spending a few minutes here or there, you got a bumper sticker on your car, you're talking to people, thank you, thank you. If nobody else thanks you, then let me thank you. But if you're not doing those things, if you're not involved in doing this stuff, it's exactly what the opposition wants. They want you to do nothing. It is the worst thing that you could possibly do. And you also have to realize it's not a burden to do something. It actually, and people will tell you this, maybe we'll chat about this as soon as this is over. I've chatted with people this past week about this. People have gotten involved for the first time, and they said it feels great. It is so good to understand that you've got power. People, a shift is taking place where people are no longer, well, some people are, of course, but less people are looking at you crazy when you talk to them about geoengineering. Something is happening. It is changing, and the word is beginning to get out, and people are hearing about this. So now is the time to put the pedal to the metal and to get out there and push it. Push the word. Tell everyone. Get a bumper sticker. Bumper stickers are powerful. It's such a simple way. Anyone driving behind you can just see the word or see a website. I do also want to say, let me talk about the geoengineering project. We now have distributed 48 signs. Now that's not a big number. It's a decent start, but we need to get 4,800 signs out there. These signs are the dark blue with a high contrast white. They have the word geoengineering very large across the front, and they have a jet with a trail right at the top. And the reason for this is so that there's a psychological association between the word geoengineering and the trail, because people need to understand the connection between those two. These signs are very powerful. I've received 3 emails this past week from people, from brand new people who just heard about this on info@ngeoengineering.com. I've never received an email because that website is brand new. In fact, it's not even entirely finished, but it's about 95% functional and working right now, and it's specifically to help educate new people, to get new people in on this. That's what that website is designed to do. What in the world are they spraying, and why in the world are they spraying are both being streamed on that site as well. I believe these 3 emails came from people who saw signs, and I want to tell you that for every person who has the gumption to send me an email, there's probably 50 or 100 who don't. So those signs, even though there's 48 out there, in fact, they're not. I'm keeping 2 myself, which I'm counting in that, and I don't have them outside because the ground is frozen. I can't physically stick them in the ground. So there's less than 48 actually. I'm sure everybody doesn't have their signs up yet, but they are working. I want to encourage everybody before March 3rd. We get these signs from a company called buildasign.com. They're having a 30% off sale and free shipping through March 3rd. If we buy 50 signs, if you don't add in the shipping and the transaction fees, the signs are somewhere between in the vicinity of $7 a sign. When you have the 30% discount, you take away the shipping and you don't have any transaction fees. Now, of course, shipping is expensive, but what we want to do is we want to get people to buy 5 signs, maybe for their area, that they can distribute to people locally. And that will dramatically cut down on shipping, so we can buy 50 at a time, get the price way, way down so more people can afford them, and make it really easy. And my business partner has been very gracious enough to say that she will help us with this process because she's an expert at shipping. She's been doing shipping for 15 years for our business, and so she knows what it's all about, and she will help anybody with this process. If you want to order a larger quantity and sell them, more power to you. I just please contact me, and I will help set you up and make sure that we get signs shipped from the printer directly to you, and we can take advantage of these discounts so that we can get the signs in as many hands as possible. So that's really important. Before March 3rd, please consider if you would be willing to buy 5 signs. If we can get 10 people to buy 5 signs apiece, we can have a bulk order of 50, which gives us a big discount. 30% off coupon through March 3rd gives us a big discount. And free shipping, of course, helps a lot. Of course, we'll have to ship them to each individual person, so that it will go be a little more than that. But we will work out all those details as long as people contact me and say, yes, I want to buy 5 signs. Or if you want 10 or any other number, you just let me know. The Wigio group. If you sign up with Wigio, you receive a notification about these meetings every week. Wigio has a glitch. And today I got my Wigio notification that this meeting was at 3:30 Eastern Time. I have notified Wigio. In fact, I notified them about the problem with their phone system a few months ago, and they wrote back and they fixed it because I wrote in. It's amazing how few people will actually respond to a website when there's a problem and let the administrators know, so these problems never get fixed. So I've contacted them. If you received a notice saying that this meeting is at 3:30 Eastern Time, now you know why. It's a Wigio glitch, and hopefully they will have that worked out soon. It is at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, Monday nights. Wigio is WIGGIO.com, and you just sign up with the Global Skywatch group, and you will automatically receive notifications, and you can set in your settings how soon before the meeting you get those notifications. I have mine set up for 2 hours. It defaults to 30 minutes, which is a little too soon for me. But you can set it to whatever you want, so you can get an email notification, and you can also just communicate too. If you send an email to the group, then it goes out to everybody who's a member. So it's really a list server, if you know what that is. I've been asked by some of the leaders in the Chemtrail geoengineering movement to expose this event on April 6, 2013, which I'll highlight on the screen. Hopefully you can see that in the stream. April 6, 2013 is the 6th Annual Geoengineering Pro-Humanity World Peace Protest. I believe this is an event that's going to be going on in multiple places. If you want to know the details about this, go to globalskywatch.com, and up in the menu up at the top, click on the Global Event Calendar, and there's all types of events there, all listed in a row, and you can also click on the little calendar, and it will give you a calendar view. So that's where we keep all of our events at the Global Events Calendar on globalskywatch.com. You can read the details about this April 6, 2013 Anti-Geoengineering Pro-Humanity World Peace Protest on that events calendar. All right, moving along. This won't be much longer. This will be a short meeting tonight. I talked to you about the sale already. If you're interested in having global End Geoengineering bumper stickers, please let me know. I would like to, if I get enough interest, I would like to get those going as well. And I really hope in the future we can have pens and pencils and thumb drives and everything. Bring pencils and pens to your office and scatter them around so people see End Geoengineering everywhere, so that people will, you'll be amazed how those things get around. That's what I really hope will happen with this. If enough people are involved, I truly believe this could be the largest public awareness campaign in history. but people have to be willing to get involved. Contact me and let me know you're willing to distribute these things so that I know we can spend the money, because I don't have money to spend. I have to know that we have a commitment. So if I'm going to put the money out, I can't afford to buy it and then be stuck with 100 bumper stickers. So please let me know if you're willing, able to participate in distributing those kinds of things and are willing to buy them. You can email me at admin, ADMIN, at globalskywatch.com. Let's see what we have here. If you have any skills you'd like to share, I've had a few people contact me who have skills, even if it's just you're really good at copying DVDs or you can print DVDs. I'm trying to pair up people who walk out in public and distribute DVDs with people who are not interested in walking around in public but are really good at printing them. So if you've got a skill, whatever it is, typing, writing articles, doing graphics, artwork, whatever, let me know. Had a few people contact me already, and I've got them on a private list. We do not share this publicly. I only share it with Michael Murphy's people at geoengineeringwatch.org and myself. And if any organization needs some help, you can come and ask me, and I will contact the people myself and have, if they're interested, then they can contact that. That way everybody's information stays private. It's not publicly displayed, but yet we can hook people up so that we can get these jobs done. That's how this is going to happen. All right, we're almost done. Let me just go through the end of this, our agenda. Let's see. All right, I talked before this, I think before we started the recording, but I do want to let everybody know the good news on this, the recorded portion of this meeting, that the conference we had a few weeks ago with Dane Wigington, who is a solar scientist, the meeting, we had him on this very phone conference on Monday night. Almost didn't work out, couldn't get him on here for an hour. Finally we hooked up, didn't even know if it was going to work out, had all kinds of trouble, technical issues and everything. And I've learned from experience that oftentimes when things are going the worst is when the best things happen. And incidentally, and I even said that night when that happened, I said, we're just going to push through this, and either it's going to work or not, but we're going to give it everything we have. And we did. Dane gave a great interview with tons of information. Somebody, and I don't know who it was, but whoever it is, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You made a video. Somebody made a video, put it on YouTube, where they put lots of pictures and stuff to look at that relate to the conversation, to the interview that Dane and I were on. And that video has basically gone viral. It has about 70,000 hits right now. So it has just been wonderful, and there's been a lot of spin-off from that. I've gotten 4 interviews from it. Our group our Facebook group is growing faster and more over a period of time than it ever has before. So those kinds of things really do help. It's also a very impacting video. So if you go to globalskywatch.com, you should share this video with your friends and family, because he talks about the methane releases and how chemtrails, geoengineering are making the methane releases worse, and it's a very dire situation. Something that's relatively new to me, this information was, and when I heard it, when I heard about it, I did talk to Dane about doing this interview, and now this information is spreading like crazy. So this is a great video to share with friends and family so that they can realize how important it is that they get involved and take this extremely seriously. You can find this video on globalskywatch.com/live. Click on the button in the left sidebar that says recorded meetings. We keep a history of all the recorded meetings right there, and look for Dane's meeting, Dane's interview with me about the methane releases. That's the one that has 70,000 hits, and it's not terribly long. It's been edited down a little bit, it seems like, but it's very impacting, and it really makes an impression on people who hear it. Last last item I would like to cover, and then I will open up the phone lines for anyone who wants to talk on the recorded portion for a few minutes. And then we can just go to a free conversation. The last item I'd like to cover, and this is really important. It doesn't seem like it, but I would love for anyone who has purchased an geoengineering sign to take pictures and send them, email them to me. I've already had somebody who did, and I have had a couple other people tell me that they're going to, and they are being put up at globalskywatch.com/live. In the left sidebar, click on, not live. If you click on the projects link in the header of the Global Skywatch website, click on projects, or current projects is the link, and then go to the page for, in fact, I can show you on the screen here, I believe. Here's the Global Skywatch website for all you who are watching the live stream. All right. Up here near the top is the projects. Here, let me align that up a little better so you can see it. Here's the projects link up here near the top. You can see it turning white on the stream. You click on there, and then we have several projects here. Here's the one with a picture of the geoengineering sign. Click on that, and you'll see this has all been totally redesigned because this project, I'm going to do everything I can to make this take off. In fact, I am doing everything I can. It's up to all the rest of us to get these signs, bumper stickers, whatever out there, so the public is going to see this. And this website, the geoengineering website, as I've said, is not going to be a huge website. It's an introduction. Has a couple videos, has about 5 or 7 pages maybe, and then it links off. It has like about 20 links. I'm not sure if they're all in place yet, but it has links to other websites like geoengineeringwatch.org, where they can go look at tests. They can go look at more information, more in-depth information. But it's an entry point for the public, a very clean, very easy to navigate, so the public can quickly get introduced to this subject. And that's the point of geoengineering.com. A quick introduction, and then send them off to other places where they can get in-depth information. So back to my screenshot here. This is the geoengineering project page that you see on the live stream right now. And here in the left sidebar, you can see some buttons. And if you just click on the gallery, let's take a look at the gallery for you who are watching the stream. Let me adjust that just a little bit. And there we go. There's an geoengineering sign in somebody's front yard. Please send me your pictures to admin, ADMIN, at globalskywatch.com, and make sure you put in there that I have permission to post them on this gallery so we can show them off to the world and let people see that this is happening and people are participating in this. This is all I have. I'm going to open up the phone lines for anyone who would like to speak during the recorded session. I'm going to go into Q&A. Please press *6 on your phone, and we'll go through one by one and let everybody speak on the recorded session. Then I will open it up to a free conversation. So please remember next week to join us. Here, I'm going to go to Q&A right now. Please remember to join us next week and get anyone you know, encourage all the leaders, all the group leaders, anyone internationally who wants to share what their group is doing, what they're doing on their website, what they're doing in the UK, what they're doing in New Zealand, what they're doing in Australia, what they're doing in Spain. We've got geoengineering groups all over the world, and I want to have us all get together and start communicating, and I want this to start next week. So please, it's up to you to tell them to contact me or to join the group. They don't have to contact me to be in. They can just hop on the group and be on with us. We're still recording, so I've got a couple people in the queue who want to speak. So please, let's go ahead and move forward with that. Okay.
Russ? Hi,
yeah,
Mark.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. One thing I wanted to talk about just briefly is the notions come up that when we talk to somebody about chemtrails and look over your head, even when they're happening, and they say, "Oh, it's just rainwater." I mean, it's just regular condensation. And we talk a little bit more to these people. I bring up the fact that I have had our rainwater tested after one of these spray sessions, and it came back full of barium and strontium in my case. And I just was wondering if you had anything, if you're associated with any labs that do water testing, that we could run it through you. Mine, I don't remember, I forgot exactly which website I went through, but that's not so much important right now. It's just getting out the notion that if people, it's like they'll ask, well, what's the hard evidence? How do you know this is what it is? Well, it's like I don't live near any plants that put out barium or strontium, and what the hell is it doing in my rainwater? And I also mentioned that, I didn't necessarily get my jar out there in time to get a real hardcore sample. It had rained for a little bit, and it still came back with stuff in it. And if that's an indication of what's floating around before it rained, we've got some real heavy metal problems. And then the notion of nanoparticles, how they can go right into us, like, there's no blood-brain barrier that they have to worry about. They just go right into us and everything else. So, Russ, I guess what I'm kind of asking and bringing up is the notion of testing to get a succinct, real-time, some data that we can present to people, from a real laboratory that's well known and does that kind of thing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if anyone's watching the live stream right now, let me show you where you can get information about labs. I'm just showing you right now. This is the Global Skywatch website. We're expanding this weekly, putting all kinds of resources on here to try to make it as easy to get information as you can. So go to globalskywatch.com, and if you look up here on the top of the menu, in the big menu, there's a big menu that stretches across the top with a lot of links on it. So it's a little overwhelming because it's got a lot of links, but it has to because there's a lot of information here. What you do is click on Resources, which is under the Activism column here. So we click on the Resources link at the top of the Global Skywatch website, and then it comes up, and if you're watching the live stream, you'll see that it came up to, well, here, let me line it a little bit better so you can see it better. You can see along the left side here that there's a whole bunch of categories. We have contact information for government, for media, speaking aids. This last weekend I wrote a speaking outline. If you need to give a speech, I had a wonderful woman from Ireland contacted me who has been invited to speak, and she needed some help with a speaking aid. So I spent my Saturday writing an outline for a speech. It's probably not perfect and perfectly refined, but it's a start, and we can expand it as we go along. But if you look down here, we got earth monitoring and information, agriculture, earthquakes, flight tracking, geoengineering, resources, HARP, weather, traffic, solar information, health, legal, letters, print literature, labs, clothing, bumper stickers, and stock media, which you can use in your videos. What we're looking for here is labs. If you look right down here in the bottom, you guys on the stream, you can't see my mouse, but you can see the link turning white when I hover over it. Click on labs, and right here we've got a small collection of labs. If you have labs that you've worked with that are good, please send them to me. Send me that information so I can include them here, because we need reputable labs. So on this link, when you click labs, right now we've got the most popular one is called Basic Lab. And let me zoom in on this for those who are on the stream so you can see this better. BasicLab.com is a lab that is used by Dane and Francis. They've got a couple locations, and they got one in Chico, California, and one in Redding, California. And they've been known to be a very reputable lab where you can send your testing in. So that's where people can go to actually find information about labs. And of course, there's many labs, so you can go many places, but I do hope people send information. But that's not where the story ends. Once you get that test done, then here's what I hope everybody will do. If you're watching the live stream on the website, go to globalskywatch.com and put up in the link section, click on let's see. I'm trying to think if there's a shorter cut or not. Shortcut. Well, just do this. Go to the forum community. I'll actually make a shorter cut here this week. This link at the top under community, click on forum community, and this goes to the big forum, which has hundreds of videos, and you can join it and post just like post and pictures just like any forum. And if you scroll down here a little ways, you'll see a big section that says water, rain, blood, and dust tests, which I just highlighted. So if you're watching the live stream, you can see it. We've got 5 sections here where you can publicly upload scanned images or PDFs of your tests so they can be displayed publicly so that we can help convince the public that this is real. Because a lot of people, including me, have done rainwater tests. I also did a dust test and had a lot of contamination. Aluminum is usually the highest thing that we're finding. What about you? What did you say you found in your test?
The highest concentration was barium, detectable, very detectable. Strontium, very detectable. Aluminum, I didn't pick any up in that first test, but I do have another jar here from a different spray session that I've yet to send off. So, because we know the aluminum's out there, but so is the barium and the strontium, and none of those heavy metals are good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, plus we know that we know that they've been repeating those tests in California and getting just aluminum something on the order of 1,000 times above what it's supposed to be. Very, very high.
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that'll do it. I've got a new email address. It's an addition. I couldn't resist. I needed something for Facebook, which I'm kind of new at, but it's probably one that everybody will have trouble remembering. It's hateschemtrails@gmail.com. So,
that's
yeah,
good.
I'm hateschemtrails@gmail.com if anybody needs to get a hold of me for anything.
Okay, so. All right.
Thanks, Russ.
Do you want to tell them what to get a hold of you for? Is there anything you want to help people out with, or any particular reason for them to reach you?
No, nothing in particular. Just sharing information and trying to lighten the load emotionally, like I said tonight earlier before we started recording.
All right, absolutely. That's one thing that I've been talking a lot about mercury, and that there have been a whole bunch of articles across the United States since 2005 talking about how mercury soil levels are rising. Mainstream media has been blaming it on China. California Air Quality Resources Board has refuted that and said, no, it's not coming from China. So the question is, where's all this mercury coming from? Well, why am I bringing up mercury? Because mercury amplifies your emotions. Mercury is the fear drug. It makes little problems look so big, and it makes you, I've been mercury toxic before, it can make you depressed, anxious, makes your thoughts spin, ears ring, and it affects you profoundly emotionally. So many people have found this. So with all of this, I believe, and I'm one of the few people, if anyone else, that's talking about this right now, but I'm talking about it very boldly because there's so much evidence. I found 0.3 micrograms of mercury in my air filter, in a little patch of air filter dust that I have sampled at a lab. That's unbelievable. So the mercury really, really adds to the emotional burden. So if people are feeling down emotionally, it may very well be the mercury is really adding to the whole situation. But thanks so much for calling in, or speaking up.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, hi, Russ. This is John Palmer in Corning, below Redding, California. I had a quick question about the mercury cleanse that you sent about. You said stay away from sulfur foods, and I've had contradicting information on that. Some forums say to take a lot of sulfur foods, but I guess the algamate doesn't work correctly when you're trying to cleanse. So could you expand on that? Why no sulfur foods in the cleanse, the mercury cleanse?
Yeah, here's the thing: is that when you're cleansing mercury, the biggest problem you have, and this is the number one problem, especially with methyl mercury, is that your colon absorbs mercury, especially methyl mercury, extremely efficiently. And so it wants to redistribute. Now there's two, let me explain separately. There's two big problems that you have. If you take free mercury, if you take free sulfur, because sulfur binds to mercury. So mercury detox is usually about sulfur, because sulfur pulls the mercury out of the tissues. Now, of course, that's not the only thing, because you've got to have your detox pathways open. You've got to have your methylation working. There's a lot of stuff you have to have working to get rid of mercury. But mercury is a special problem because of the way it gets reabsorbed. Now, what happens is if you take free sulfur, that sulfur goes in your body and starts binding to mercury and pulling it into your lymphatic system, in your bloodstream. Then it has a long journey. It has to go through your lymphatic system, your bloodstream, and in your colon, through the liver, gets dumped through the bile ducts into the colon or the duodenal area there. And so what happens is during that journey, a lot of the mercury will break off from the sulfur, and that problem is called redistribution, because now you have mercury that gets redistributed into the body, and it's free to go damage some more cells. So that's why using free sulfur is not always thought about as the best idea. Now, I've been listening to information from Dr. Christopher Shade, who has some great in-depth information about mercury detox. I suggest anyone who's interested in it search his name, Christopher Shade, on YouTube and watch his videos, because he's got groundbreaking clinical studies and information that really has taught us a lot more about detox, a lot more about what mercury really does in the body. So basically, when you've got that free sulfur, you've got a problem with redistribution. So this is why a lot of the people talk about the benefits of things like DMSA and DMPS. Now, a lot of people shrug or don't like these are chemicals, and they don't like that, and I totally understand it, because I generally really like going natural whenever it's possible. But I make an exception here and there, and I generally agree with some of the doctors who like DMSA, for instance, because it binds much more strongly to the mercury, so you have much less of a redistribution issue. And then finally, what else I will say too is about algin. I think you were trying to say algin or sodium alginate. Is that what you were mentioning?
Yeah, that's correct.
In my opinion, aside from the chelator itself, probably even more important than the chelator itself, in my opinion, is algin. Algin, I believe, is really, really important for mercury detox. It also, and I'll tell you why, the biggest problem with mercury, especially methyl mercury, is that it gets reabsorbed in the colon. So you can go through all this trouble to carry it out of your body, and it gets in your colon, and that's, of course, not always the case, because some mercury goes out through your kidneys. It depends on what it's bound to. So it's a more complicated subject. But by nature, it initially gravitates to the liver and gets dumped through the bile ducts into the colon, where it's reabsorbed, and then it just goes in a circle. It keeps going in a circle, reabsorbed, redistributed, and it's doing more and more damage as it does this, and your colon is taking a beating. Your intestinal flora are dying, getting mutated. You're getting IBS symptoms. This is why so many autistic kids, according to I think Haley was talking about this, they virtually all have colon digestive issues, and it all makes sense when you understand what's going on. Algin binds very strongly to mercury. It's a non-digestible polysaccharide. It doesn't go in your bloodstream. It goes right through your body, through your digestive system. And you want algin to be present in your colon when you're detoxing, so when your liver sprays that mercury out through the bile ducts, that algin is present to absorb it and grip onto it, so you can eliminate it without it being reabsorbed. I consider algin absolutely essential for not only a mercury detox, but algin also binds to barium. It also binds to strontium, and it binds to a number of other heavy metals as well. So algin is your friend. I would say about 6 out of 10 people that I personally know who took it call it amazing and miraculous. About 3 out of 10 people say, oh yeah, I noticed a little difference. And 1 out of 10 people say it gave me a little gas and bloating. And I believe it does that because it's actually just revealing another underlying issue in those 1 out of 10 people.
Great.
So that's kind of the lowdown on sulfur and algin.
Thank you. And Russell, how about, so no bentonite clay with it, or no charcoal or zeolite when you're trying to suck up that mercury that doesn't really go along with the algin, just algin?
Well, here's the thing. And a lot of this information I'm about to tell you comes from Dr. Christopher Shade, who everybody who's interested in this subject should look up his videos on YouTube. Great information.
I will.
Carbon gravitates towards the larger molecules, the benzene and the big molecules that are present, and that tends to be what carbon is better at. It doesn't mean it won't help with the mercury, but algin is so much more efficient with the mercury. But nevertheless, carbon is useful for that. Now, zeolite is an aluminum-based substance, and there's a lot of evidence that it does help with mercury detox, and that it also grips onto the mercury atoms very tightly so that there's not a lot of distribution. The thing that zeolite, according to Dr. Shade, what zeolite really shines at doing is removing molds and fungus from the body. And today I believe we have a silent epidemic of molds and fungus which have been propagated by chronic immune suppression, which is really coming from mercury toxicity, and also now with chemtrails, barium and aluminum, because both barium and aluminum and mercury are all immunosuppressive. So it's good. The zeolite can be good for mercury. It also can be good for the molds.
Right. I've actually read something where taking and chewing up on the amino acids, if they're the right form, also helps, since I'm going to change my diet. Okay, that sounds great. It sounds like that was really thorough, and I just wanted to thank you for all your effort and sending me those links. And you're just awesome, Russ. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'm just glad to be able to help.
Yeah.
All right. If there's any more, if there are any more questions, press *6. Otherwise, it looks like the queue is empty. Thank you, everybody, for attending the meeting. Please, we are facing, in my opinion, the largest crisis in the history of mankind. Nothing compares to this. It is being done to us, I believe, with full knowledge of the implications, and that causes a lot of people to become confused because they don't know why certain people in the world would do this to the world, knowing it's destroying the world. I believe there are very good explanations for this, but they're long and complicated and outside of the scope tonight. But they have to do with with different belief systems that these people hold that actually makes them feel very justified in doing these things. But anyway, we're facing a catastrophe. This is the largest subject we've ever faced, and the worst thing that anyone can do is nothing. If people are on the fence, please get off the fence. It feels so good to become part of the solution. If you don't know about this subject or you've heard about it, don't avoid it because you're afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. Become part of the solution. We've got great people get together, help each other, learn how to detox, learn how to take care of each other. Very good people have told me they've met so many great people online, more than they have known in their physical area. They've met so many friends online who are just wonderful through participating in raising awareness about geoengineering and other causes. Good night to everybody. I'm going to shut off the recording now and open up the phone lines. And as a final reminder, if you want to participate before March 3rd to buy a group of End Geoengineering signs, please let me know. If you're interested in bumper stickers, let me know. We can take advantage of the Build a Sign sale. Or you can go make up your own if you want to make up some of your own. You can go there, and they have an online designer that's really, really cool. Join us next week, globalskywatch.com. Invite leaders in the geoengineering awareness movement from all different countries to join us to give their testimonies about what's going on in their countries and what is working for them. And invite your skeptic friends so they can hear that this is a big deal. Good night, everybody.